CueSports International and Bad Boys Billiard Productions proudly presents the U.S. Open One Pocket Championship. Hi everybody, Ken Shuman here with Brian Butler in the booth, and we are about to play the semifinal match and see who has the right to face Dennis or Cuyo in the finals tonight. This will be. Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say this match is a race to 3. Shane Van Boening won the lag. He will break first. I've never, in the history of One Pocket, seen somebody win the lag and not break first.
And it's funny you say that because the winner of the lag has the choice. It's not required they break it, but the only person I've ever seen do that in a 9-ball was Pat Fleming in the old years. Yeah.
And his buddy Dave Maddox.
Yeah, that's right.
Whom I know well too.
Yeah.
So
a race to 3 here, and both of these players are now assured $2,500. Whoever wins this match will be assured $3,800, which is second place money, and they'll be playing for $5,700 on top.
And the One Pocket paid 4 spots?
No, I just have the top 4 here. That's all I was able to get in the brief time I had up there.
You must have paid 8 spots.
With no, it's 46 players.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to guess 16, probably a third of the field, 12 at a minimum.
It's a pretty good break by Shane. But Corey came with a creative shot, stuck him in the stack, and created a big threat over on his side of the table. The one up, one down situation. Ball on the side rail.
One on the side rail. That's the traditional way to play.
The place to hide is in between them.
Mm-hmm.
But Shane might have the option of leaving Corey straight in on that ball. It might be his only option.
Yeah, give him the one and
however,
go from there. But
well, the position of the 15 might prevent that. He's looking at, I think, kicking behind the 10. Trying to land the cue ball where his finger was there. This is as good a play as any, but the big problem here is he's got a bridge over how many balls? Plays with this giant cue.
Yeah. He doesn't need much of that cue ball to hit.
So let's see how he did.
It looks awful good.
Rail.
Oh, that's a great shot. That's a great shot, unless he let him see the stripe, and he did. Yep.
So Corey has 2 options. One is to bank it at the combination or bank
at the
it
stack.
off the cluster.
Yeah. I like blanket. I like going at the stack with it.
I like that as well. If he hits half the 5 ball, which is a big target, even if he hits full on the 5, it might clip in off the 5 and then off the 12.
Or the 5 could go off the 6 and go into the 12. A lot of good things can happen, but I think you want to preserve the 10 and the 12 and bank it into the stack.
What do we know?
That's why we're sitting up here.
Well, frankly, I'm not sure that was right. But in order to hit it with as much power as you needed, he might have been worried about leaking out the 3. So
yeah, the cue ball. Yeah.
Playing Shane is like there's just no telling what he's liable to.
It's almost like Corey's playing himself in a way. Now you know what it feels like to play you, Corey, because you know your opponent really has no clue what you're going to come back with.
I think Shane might have slightly better judgment than Corey.
Well, I think he does.
They're both as creative, but
I think Shane also, I would give him a slight little edge in discipline and patience.
Right.
And I'd also give him a little bit of edge in, I'm looking for the right word, not letting things get to him.
Bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Just while Corey's looking at this, I want to take one quick opportunity here again to thank our industry partners that have helped support this event. The Billiard Education Foundation and OB, AZ Billiards, Simonis Cloth, Diamond Billiard Products, the Magic Ball Rack, Kamui, Predator, and these beautiful Cyclop pool balls. So thank you all for your support and being a part of this great tournament. It's a pretty good
Pretty good
spot
shot.
to go to if you're going to have to take a foul. So -1 for Deuel.
He would have liked for the 6 to leak a little farther out, I think.
Yeah.
Now, the shot that he passed on that I kind of liked in the previous shot was just to kick the 12 in. But there's no reason not to take that ball if you can. However, he's trying to maximize his advantage here. Shane, meanwhile, has an escape. Nipped the 3, 2 rails over by the, nipped the 2 rails over here by the 10.
Mm-hmm. Well, all of this was made possible by that very first shot that Shane shot, jacked up over the stack, where he made that great one-rail kick at the inside of the 10 ball. And it kind of set the tone for how the next 4 or 5 innings have unfolded.
His execution of the shots that he plays is as good as anybody in the game.
Bill Stock and I were talking 15 minutes ago on a little break outside, and we both feel that Shane is now the best player in the world, not just the USA. And the only reason he doesn't appear #1 in WPA rankings is he doesn't play much overseas, and he hasn't had the greatest success overseas. But ever since he put that extension on his Q-Tech, he has risen a notch above the greatness that he already had. Nice shot, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I really think he's the best player on the planet.
Yeah, the extension is interesting. I don't think there's any real science theory behind it. It just probably feels good.
I think it's just a confidence thing and a feel thing.
Generally, I'd say you want to have a cue that's a little shorter than longer to be more accurate, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I haven't held it or tried it or anything like that.
Well, he always did play with his hand to the tail end of the cue anyway, and he's about 6 feet tall. He has long arms, a great reach.
Well, it was Earl who first came with the
right
slightly longer cue, and then my two.
Yeah.
And I think they're all crazy, but
well, you can't argue with success. Yeah. Well, he started using it when he played Earl in a race to 100 10-ball match last year. Remember, on a 10-footer, and then he brought it out again at Derby, and he actually, even without saying the words, but the expression on his face, because Bill did ask him, he says, "Your game went up a little bit since you put that on there," and he just did the little.
He's pretty humble.
He is.
I think part of his deal is when he goes overseas is, even though I don't think the players are any better, I just don't think he'll find, or sorry, how to put it, there's more of them that aren't scared of him.
The intimidation factor isn't there.
As much.
Yes, because they don't really know who he is.
Right.
And there's a lot of good players over there, too.
And there's going to be more.
Yeah. But I mean, his time is.
There was a YouTube video of the kid, 3 years old, running the balls up the middle of the table.
Yeah.
No. I don't think you'll see as many. Personally, I don't think you'll see as many good players coming out of America in the future, because so many pool rooms are drinking establishments that it's hard for kids to get in and start playing.
Right.
And if you don't have kids playing, they don't grow into adults playing. So, I mean, there's still going to be quite a few, but there's not going to be as many, I think, as there is from overseas locations where they're starting young, they're playing lots, and they've got more organized tournaments at the young and for the youth, which is something that's non-existent almost in North America.
And they also have governmental support. They have instructors, and they also. They don't just teach you how to play pool, they teach you how to behave. And regrettably, we don't do enough of that here. And I think there's also some legitimacy, Brian, to the fact that in our country now, with young people, maybe the past 10, 12 years, there's so many other things for them to do. Whereas when I started playing pool, I mean, you either played baseball, football, basketball, or you played pool, or ping pong, or that kind of stuff. There just wasn't a whole. There were, no computers, no internet, no video games, pinball machines. That was the big thing.
Yeah, same here.
But I know I've
Canada,
talked.
if you don't play hockey,
you play snooker,
well,
or three
whatever,
cushion or whatever. Yeah.
But now there's lots more things for kids to do. I didn't play hockey as a kid, so I got in the pool.
Well, there's a lot less injuries in pool.
Yeah.
You don't get cross-checked so much.
Almost the same amount of fighting, but fewer good fighters.
Yeah.
So that's good.
and the equipment's not as expensive.
Right.
And you don't have to get up at 3 a.m. for ice time either.
That's right.
He's going to bank the 5. No good.
Ooh, that's
Didn't hit that good at all.
Yeah, one of my friends who was at the tournament, Brady Golan, he's a real good pool player, and he was quite a big hockey player in his youth. He's real good.
You ever see Bobby Orr play?
No.
All right, well, Corey paid back his foul, so it's even now, 0-0. First rack, race to 3.
He's definitely got a bank on the 10 ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's not free.
No, but there's a big reward for making it.
Is there?
Well, I think he's got the 9 next.
Well,
no,
he executed that perfectly if he landed on the 6.
Yeah, I think he
looks like he did. Or he's got the 7-8 combination.
Even if he's got the 6, the 7-8 might be the shot. Well, no, looks.
From this angle, it looks like
it's real close. I think he can make the 6.
He looks pretty comfortable.
And then do you want to just roll up into the 7, move it a little bit, shoot the 8, move the stripe.
It's a good play, or go up here and get on the 15, 11, 9 type situation.
Yep.
It's usually better to get the cue ball out.
Yeah.
Out into the middle of the table. And work your way back into the small gaps rather than starting in the small gaps and then trying to work your way back out. Get it out to start with, and then get the open balls, then go to the cluster.
And then, of course, ideally, when you start working the cluster, you want to get in the patch in there in the middle. Right.
More things open.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, looks like maybe. Is he going to risk going into the 3 here?
Certainly was, and he opened it right up.
Oh, got a nice little double bump there. He's got 3.
Playing for 5.
4, 8, 11 on the table. Yeah. Well, we already know the 7-8 goes.
The 14 might go. Probably not. Well, now he's going to open up the 2 and the 13 here when he makes the 3. And I think you can kiss this game goodbye, quite frankly.
You called it, Mr. Butler.
Well, again, almost perfectly executed. He would have liked the cue ball off the rail because now it is hard to get
to the 12.
The 12 is next, but it's hard to get there, and it might not even bounce long enough to get out for the 12. We'll see. He's going to spin it. He's going to play high left.
Going to have a little bit of speed on this too. But he needs it to grab off the second cushion.
Well, he could spike it and have the cue ball turn over to get out too.
Yep.
But that makes the pocket play small.
Could he?
I doubt that'll phase him much.
Yeah. And he can't slow roll it to hold it for the bank on the 5. He's looking at the 13. He's also checking the ball count.
Playing for 3.
If he makes the 13, he's going to split the 12 and the 15 with the cue ball. The 12 and the 14. But he's going to move the 8 towards the rail. And that might be his next shot. Oh, that's bad. Now he's going to have to bank 7. Needs 2. Banks a 7. He wins the game. Can he roll the cue ball to the long rail and still not sell the 5 out? I don't think so. I think the 5's makeable from the side rail there.
It might be time to duck.
Could be.
I am surprised, actually. I thought that the shot was, regardless of the difficulty of getting out from the 2 to the 12, I think the shot was the 2 to the 12. But he saw it a little differently. But you saw it right. Because it seemed like lying on the 12 from what he was doing was likely. The 8 goes to the rail.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I could see him doing here would be to hit this with a little pop and one reel the cue ball down there behind the 11 where Corey is quadrupled up on the 5. Nothing goes. And if Shane happens to make this, he's got the 8 for the game. But that's going to mean the 7's going to have to be controlled or at a minimum hit the 2 if it comes short. And I think that's what he's doing. This might be just a little bit more than pocket speed. This is what you said. This is where Shane has the edge on everybody, I think. Maybe with the exception of Dennis, where he can execute what he wants to do with such precision. And once again, his patience and discipline prevented him from doing something that obviously a less seasoned and less great player would have done. Probably would have tried to complete their out there. So 6-0 is the ball count. First rack, race to 3.
What do you do here? I don't see anything.
I think you got to take a foul.
Where?
Yeah, where?
Up by the 8 if you can.
I don't think he can get there.
Well, he can kick. Under the 5.
Yeah.
It's just a hair of draw. You got to run the risk, but then you might just kick the 2 in.
Then I was going to say, if you don't get behind the 8, he's kicking the 2.
Well, he doesn't need 1. He needs 2. So that's maybe not the best option.
Yeah.
Like for Van Boening. But
maybe just get. Well, if he gives him the 2,
he puts him on the hill, but that might be all he's got.
No, he's not going to give him the ball.
He's going to try and clip the 5 and go up by the 8. But surely he sells out a bank. Well, he got as much out of it as he could.
I think he was trying to just make sure he didn't sell out the bank.
Shane could play could bank the 5 at the 2 here and play like a free bank combination.
I'm wondering.
I don't know on the table. It doesn't look as good as
I don't. Yeah, I don't think he can bank the 5 into the middle of the rail where it'll kiss off the 2. I think he'd have to cut it right at the point to do that.
To make the 2.
Oh, to bank it at the 2 to make the 2 ball, not to make the 5 off the 2. All right, I see that. He could always play the 5 rail first, give it to him, and send the cue ball way up to the top left corner.
I think he's got the 5, like, just to hit it directly. He doesn't need to go rail
Oh,
first.
he doesn't have to go behind. He can get by the 2. Well, I might just give him the ball and go upstream.
Is he playing to 3 rail it? Look at this shot.
Well, he played all cue ball, though, too, as well.
Well, he definitely knew where the 5 was going as well. This shot is fantastic.
Yeah.
Welcome to the majors. And that ball just came within a hair's breadth of knocking the 2 in.
Corey's in a lot of trouble here. Sure do, Corey. You want new?
Well, it's a bad spot.
Yeah.
You cut in 14.
Get that other camera. I thought maybe he could kind of rolled at the 6. Let the 6 go at the 2-5 and try to have the
7.
the 7, yeah, and have the cue ball follow up underneath it. Yeah.
Well, that's the ducking shot, but I'm saying, can you cut the 14 in and maybe get something good happening here? The cue ball goes into the 7-8. He's playing sort of like your shot. I think he might be coming behind this ball, trying to knock it towards his pocket.
That was well done.
That's a pretty good, effective shot.
Mm-hmm.
So now again,
Shane could, well, no, he can't. I thought he might do something off the 11.
Well, the 11 is one possibility.
Yeah.
Here again, the situation is he'd like to get the balls tied up. He's got the 6-0 lead. But he doesn't play necessarily sort of he's kind of like Efren in that he doesn't necessarily play the traditional nip and tuck style one pocket. When he's got the lead, he's as aggressive as the guy behind sometimes. Probably costs him a game or two here and there, but
yeah, but it wins him far more than it loses.
Far more than it loses, right. But you're just naturally going to win more games when you're up 7-0.
Right.
However, he plays the nip. Puts 2 balls right out of play. In order to win the game, Deuel's going to need one of those 2.
Corey can't get to the 8 directly.
He may play the
go off the 7
like
behind the 2. Well, he could do that again.
That might be what he does here, trying to hit the low side of the 8 and leave the cue ball underneath the 2-5.
Right.
If he takes a foul, so be it. He would like that to bounce.
Can you see the 7?
If he can, he'll bank it and make it. It was a nice shot. The last 2 shots he played were both nice shots. But they needed to be better.
Yeah.
If it had come out and landed on the 2, he'd be in a strong position. But the fact that Shane can even hit the 7 kind of eliminates the trap. Now that ball goes out of play.
Well, Corey can take the 2 and the 5 out here in one stroke. But the cue ball may be on the center diamond on the bottom rail.
He does not want those balls out of play.
But he doesn't. That's right.
He wants to sleeve those where they are, even though they don't really help him. They're down here where he can get them. I think I might try and come off the 12.
Back under the 2-5?
Back under there and try and get the 12 over where it might bank towards my hole later, like, somewhere over in
the left side of the table.
The upper left-hand side of the table, if I can.
Yeah, it looks like the angle it's going to, though, it may run into the 7 if he does that, or it won't have enough speed to get where he wants it.
Coming off the 8, trying to spin behind the 2-5. The problem with this?
7 ball.
11 ball.
You like the 11 better? I thought the 7 would give him a better chance to keep the cue ball on that left-hand side of the table.
Sure the 7 banks around the 1, but the the 1 is if he nips the 1, it's going to go over to. Well, he's doing neither. He's going to two-rail the
2-rail the 12 and go over behind the 8. Yep.
It's possible. Or he may just put it out of play. Hit the 12 into the 14. No, he's playing the 2-railer.
Can he even see the 5, Brian? What do you think?
I believe you can see the 5. I'm looking at the monitor trying to figure out what I would do here.
Yeah.
I don't see anything, so it's not that good.
There's not even a good place to take a foul here.
Well, if the 7 wasn't there, I would bank the 14. And I'd play inside English and I'd go
3
around.
rails, yeah.
But, and I might.
Even if he can get around the 7, he probably can't get around the 11.
What I kind of like, oh, well, I was thinking about just make the 7 shoot and stop. Although it's a hard shot to execute.
I think there's enough room between the 1 and the point where Shane would shoot it.
I don't, if you look on the table, I'm not so sure. But
yeah, it does look better on the monitor than it does on the table.
But he's looking at moving the 1.
Put it on his side and just float down the cushion.
I don't know about this shot. He's going with inside English. He was
he wanted to try to come back up under these 3 balls.
He definitely left him a cut, which he will definitely shoot at. And
yeah, and then he'll have the 1 or the 15 next.
This, you could bet your firstborn that this one will go in.
No bet.
So much for that kid.
I'm glad because I would have gonna have to go have a kid to pay off.
Here we go. Cut the 14 in.
Now we can do that.
And 1 rail and knock all those balls over to his side.
Well, he's got to.
That's the old Ronnie Allen shot.
He has no choice. This is maybe the only chance he has to get back in the game.
I don't know. If he may also think, well, if I give him the 7 and I lock him up to the 12,
yeah,
I've got to have a better shot next. But he's got to get him. Oh, he cleared it. Well, he left him in the combination.
The 5-12. Sure looks like it goes, right? The 2 doesn't block the 5, does it? No, he can make the 12.
That's another exercise in poor judgment, in my opinion.
You would have thought Corey would have gone and looked at that.
Yeah,
like Shane needed that.
He's going to give him the game.
All right. First rack to SVB. 1-0. Race to 3. Corey breaks. The 8-ball player meeting is in progress. If you are hearing anything in the background, that's the tournament director giving the instructions to the players.
Basically shoot the stripes before you, or the solids before you shoot the 8. Is that the rule?
It was last time I played.
You can't shoot the 8 until all your stripes or solids are gone.
Man, I hate that rule. That's a good break. He's got a ball kind of on both rails. Nothing leaked out. That 8 card never moved. That was a corner ball. So
well, he
the
racks
thing
the
is,
balls well.
yeah. He's looking to see how it's lined up, and it's not dead. There's no point in trying to bank the 3 and doubling them up. At least
he's looking at the 3 off the rail into the 11. The cue
over to
ball,
his side.
Either 3 rails around or, well, it's got to be 3 rails around because I don't think he can hold it on the right hand side.
Not with
of the
that
table.
angle on the 3 ball, he couldn't. No. That's why I said if the 15 wasn't there, he could bank it into the stack and double them up.
I played this shot earlier and it didn't quite get there. So, I mean, you have to hit it firm to make sure that, I think one of the problems too is it's easy to sell at a bank. He's got to cut the 3 quite a bit to execute that. And that might take away the 3 rail pattern from the cue ball. Now, if that's the case, what do you do instead? Well, you can freeze him in the stack. or you can leave him up by the upper right-hand corner pocket.
He's still not sure.
It was a good break.
Yeah, it was a real good break.
Still a little mystified how that 8-ball didn't move.
Me too.
Barely at all.
See, there's no threat near his pocket.
Guess I'm not really that mystified. I have my theory as to why it didn't move very far, but he will. Okay, so if he plays this shot that he's looking at now, what he's looking at is the 3 into the, I mean, it's complicated, but 3 off the backside of the 15.
Mm-hmm.
That clears the pocket, and then the cue ball goes around. Or he leaves him straight in on the 12, one or the other. Or he goes into the 12. That's option 3. Okay. Did a lot of the shot.
How good did he do with that? Except for
the inside English is what held it.
See bottom? Yeah. Me too.
Look at these beautiful Marlboros you have in the table. I used to smoke so many of those.
That's why there aren't many left. You smoked them all. Stripe's going to drop. Oh, it didn't.
So Shane will go down and grab the ball that just got knocked in the side pocket, so Corey doesn't accidentally, quote unquote, put it in his tray.
That's one of the things I've always been impressed with about Shane. He doesn't miss any aspect of the game from as far as protecting himself against something going wrong. Just like you said, for getting a ball, or he knows what time his match is going to start. He knows that if he's there and the time is up and his opponent's not there, he knows his opponent's supposed to be put on the clock. Those kind of things. And it's just another reason why he's the player he is. His attention to all the details of professional pool are pretty much without peer.
Well, he must have thought it was dead.
He must have,
because why would he pass in the 7 to shoot that? But
Shane, spot the ball.
But it left him the 11, a free bank that wins the game. And this is the second match we've done in a row with Corey, and the second time I note the same thing. His judgment is, he's so creative, but he's got to learn to just pull it back a couple notches sometimes.
Well, there's only maybe
that was a rare mistake from Shane.
And he missed it rather badly for Shane, too. But what I was going to say, Brian, is that, there just aren't that many one-pocket tournaments, comparatively. And there's probably only I'd say less than a dozen players that Corey can't handle as far as playing one pocket, even though it's not played a lot. So he's not always playing the upper echelon players until the tail end of the events.
Right.
And that's when what got him there doesn't stand him in good stead sometimes, as you were saying.
Right. He's looking. Yeah, you can do these kind of things against the weaker players, but against a star, you're going to get caught out too much. He's playing the 11 off the 9 here, with a lot of draw to hold. Pardon me. The 9 was dead.
Yeah.
He saw it, missed the billiard with the cue ball, and is on the wrong side of the stack. I thought he was lining up the 11 off that little cluster, but really the ball was.
He's been a little bit snake bitten. I will concede that. The guy's made a couple of pretty nifty shots here, and against Dennis as well. And the cue ball just didn't cooperate as far as giving him a chance to get a half a dozen or so. And that can frustrate the living crap out of you too.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's my career. Cue ball didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Well, it's never happened to me.
If he was just a quarter inch to the right, he would have a bank on the 5, I think, a spinning bank.
Can you get to the 1 ball?
Oh, I don't see how. Is he playing the 13-8 combination bank?
Yeah. Well, again, mostly cue ball. All right, 2-0 in ball count for Corey, 1-0 in game count for Shane. Race to 3 here. What do you do here?
Frankly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's looking at, and I'm not sure what the best option is. He's not in a really big trap, but he doesn't have a lot.
Can he hit the edge of the 1 and get over near Corey's pocket?
Well, if he can hit the edge of the 1, which I'm pretty sure he can, the difficulty is beating the 10 ball with the kiss. So he's got to hit it like
he'd have to hit paint.
So what he's looking at instead is perhaps a combination bank here.
Follow through the gap. Oh my God.
He just came with excellent shot.
Corey threw his hands up in the air like.
Well, it was there. I mean, there's nothing you can't argue with that. Like, he came with a 2-railer through the gap and brushed in the combo, which was a big, like, it was there. It was definitely, once you see it executed.
Well, you have to see it. You got to execute it. He did both.
He's got the 3 as a little bit of a touchy shot. Could play the 12 first and go across, land on the 2, which is the shot I think I personally would like better, because it lies so naturally. Just cut the ball in and you should end up on the 2, but does the 2 pass? Oh, I guess that's
I don't think it does.
Oh.
Just from where I'm sitting, it looks like the 8's got it covered. He may be going at the 4 ball. Well, no. Can he? If he plays the 3, can he miss the 12?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
3 and just go between the 12 and the side pocket.
No, go at the 4 ball with the cue ball.
It's another excellent shot.
All right. Now he's probably going to have to come out for the 11 next. And then if he can pull it through the gap between the 6 and the 2, he can get a bunch. Can he miss the 12 here? Sure, I think he can.
All right, that's perfect.
Yeah, perfect angle.
He now has 3, and he's playing for 5. And if he lands the cue ball on the 7.
Well, he has the 7, the 4, the 10, and the 2.
Right.
And
I think he'll
the
draw
6.
and hit the 7 here, and then he's got them all.
You think he's going to hit the 7 or miss it altogether? Yeah, I
Either
think
way,
he has to
he's
hit
got
it.
them all.
Yeah, I think he's got to hit it.
Right, that's 1, and now these 4 here. Again, this is like a practice routine. He can shoot these balls in any order he wants. He could go 10-6, 2-4. He could go 4-10, 6-2. He could do anything.
Corey's got a feel snake bit. Made that great combination on the 9. Couldn't get another shot. Then Shane comes with that combination into the stripe, and the next thing you know, it's rack 'em up.
Nothing. Shane Van Boening.
And breaking. And Corey laid down a great break too in that game. Remember, we said that with the 8 ball didn't move.
Shane looked at it for a long time, and finally picked out, you know, a really creative escape, which he executed fairly well, except for he left Corey that cut shot, and you would have expected him to get more from. That was kind of really the.
And remember,
the issue. He played a great break. He got the shot he wanted, but he didn't capitalize.
Yeah, and then Shane missed the straight back. Bad, remember?
Absolutely, and that yeah. So again, kind of like a missed opportunity for Corey Deuel. This is another good break.
Shane didn't seem to like it for some reason.
Well,
I don't know why.
Note the 8 has moved. The 8 on Shane's break moved, you know, good 2.5 feet farther than it did on Corey Deuel's break.
Well, the pack opened up too much more than it did the last time.
Agreed. Well, this is a shot to come off the
bank
4.
The 4, yeah, well, off the 4 behind the 9.
Or bank the 4 and try and leave the cue ball on the side rail.
Right.
Coming through. But that cut.
Shane will slice the 9 in from there. And go right into the cluster. Wind up with 5 straight in this hole.
Well, you have that all planned out. Okay, that's not the shot then. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying that it just seems like those are the things that always happen.
So off the 4 and in behind the 9.
Yeah, I got to believe.
Keep it tight.
Sure.
And freeze if you can. It's a good shot. The 4 cooperated, made its way right through the gap and back over. One pocket 101 there. Now if you're Shane, he's left you in a bad spot. Well, one option is to try and leave him straight in on the 4 up at the top end of the table and just take a scratch.
And the other thing, I guess, is go ahead all the way down the end of the table and just give him the 4 straight in.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
But it's not that easy to get there, quite honestly.
Well,
like it's a one-rail kick, but if you leave him any angle or whatever, he's going to get on the 8.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't leave him, if you leave him with where he's got the bottom of the cue ball, he can, you know, he can do a lot of other creative things. So, I don't know. He's in a bad spot here. What would you do?
Well, if he can get to the 15, I'm just wondering if he could shoot the 15 into the 8, take the 2 of them out, and draw the cue ball.
As I look at the table, I don't think he can hit the 15.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. The only other thing that I would do or think about doing, and it's really tough, is 1 rail onto the 12 ball and just take the foul. Just 1 rail the cue ball at the 12. I know you're on the wrong side of the stack, but it doesn't look like you would leave anything there.
Well, what about trying to kick between the 9 and the 15 and land on the 13? And just kind
and
of
then just
off
graze off it and go to the cushion?
That might be all he has. You know what? Well, the 8 is a problem, but the Massey shorter shot here is not horrible. Now you go to the side rail with elevated, what would it be, low right, and try and spin it, sort of Massey it back around and kind of come between the 8 and the rail. That'd be a big shot.
How about one rail at the 4 this way? Can
Well,
you get
yeah,
by
that's
the
what I'm
13?
saying.
Can
The
get
most
by the
likely
13?
thing, though, is that he'll brush the 13 if he does this.
Yeah.
But if he hits the 13 full in the face, he's sold out to 8. Okay, he's frozen to the 15, which is probably all he had. Did he leave Deuel where he can make the 15 into the 8 off the rail and make it? He probably wouldn't shoot that even if
I don't think so, because the cue ball is going to be coming off kind of hot, because you've got to slice it a little bit. If he had a little more distance between the object ball and the cue ball, maybe.
Yeah, but he's got to make his move here.
Well, how about banking the 9 across to his side and going at the 10 with the cue ball?
That, I think, is that's the sort of expected shot.
Well, yeah, it's the obvious shot. And
yeah.
Believe me,
I don't know. Shane looked upset there for a second. I'm not sure exactly why. Oh, that's why, because he wants you to call this shot. So Ken's going to go down and judge the shot. If Corey shoots this to make the 8, he's going to elevate, play the 15 off the rail, then into the 8, and he's going to try and hopefully draw back and not sell out the 1. So he's going to have to hit it really well. I kind of highly doubt it'll be a foul. But it doesn't hurt to have your referee there to watch it. He's going to bag the 9. Try and leave him still frozen on the 15. It didn't really work out that well for him, especially if you let him see the 13. And again, that's kind of why shooting the 9-8 combo, even though it seemed like a stretch, I think that's kind of why it might have been the better shot, because you're not going to get that many good chances from Shane. And now, having not executed this shot as well as he could have, he's going to find himself on the wrong side of this game again. Shane's going to come off the 13 and spin him behind the 8 at a minimum. And he might do something even more productive, like banking the 6.
Bank the 6, yeah.
You know, or something like that. Bank the 10. You know, the fact that the 1-4 tied up,
bank the
they tied up sort of, is going to hurt him.
Yeah, I think he's going off the 13, like you said.
That's the shot I think is sort of the most easily executed, and it pays dividends, and it's going to frustrate Deuel too. Once you got a guy down, you know, keep him down, frustrate him, intimidate him. Don't let him see anything. He just passed on, even though it was, but the shot that you were out there refereeing was obviously an extremely difficult shot. He passed on it, and
well, I'll tell you though,
will he get another one? Even at that,
it looked awfully difficult though to do what we originally said off the 14 there. There was maybe a quarter inch between the balls.
But now the shot he might have to play here is to bank the 1 and just try and leave him straight on the 10, and maybe the 1 will
bank it straight back off the 311.
Well, or it could come, if he cuts it a little more, it could double kiss off the 9-8 and go towards the pocket.
What's that 311 look like? Is it dead?
It looks close.
Yeah.
In fact, now that I look at the table, it looks extremely close.
Yeah. So if the 1 wasn't there, he'd kick at it.
It's coming off 2 cushions?
No,
oh,
one rail.
One cushion.
Yeah.
No, it's not close enough where you could kick at it.
No, it isn't. Too much gap.
Well, he's just going to perhaps roll the cue ball.
Yeah, he's going to take a foul and put him straight on the 10 ball. Well, he may go off. Yeah. Where is this going?
He kicked at the 15. Came up short by like an inch. Cost him a ball. Van Boening will not sleep the fact that he owes a ball like Dennis did.
Oh, Corey put the coin up. They each owe 1.
Right. But now, if he doesn't have a shot to clear the 9-8, which I think he does, then he will come off either the 4. Looks like the 4.
Yeah.
Try and move the 11 away.
Move the 11 and put him back under the 8-9 again.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it just gets worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, fortunately for Van Boening, both balls came back. Or actually, sorry, the 4 came back and the 11 didn't clear, so. But that's not that big of an issue. Deuel still faced with no way to create any kind of a threat on his side.
Does he dare do again what he just did? To rail the cue ball up by the...
Well, that may not be there anymore, is it?
I think it's there. I don't think the 4 took it completely away. He's going to take a break.
Okay. Well.
All right, we got a
We'll
brief timeout here, folks. Okay. Be back in 5.
Okay, we're back. Missed one shot. I think Corey played the kick. Very similar shot to we had the last inning. Shane. He's looking aggressive here, banking the 6, but does it pass? He's going to spin the cue ball between the 14-2 to protect it. He's trying to bank it. I was saying he's going to try and bank it into that ball. Just pretty remarkable how well he executed that shot. He almost made it.
Yeah, and look what he would have had if he did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we determined the 11-3 is wired, huh?
Very dead.
Yeah. And Shane knows that too, so he can't leave that cue ball anywhere where Corey can do something.
We did look at the 11-5, but it doesn't look dead to me.
It may go off the 10, if anything, or it may miss the 10, but. Now each guy does owe a ball. Shane's coin is actually on the long rail there, because that's where he just bridged to shoot that bank, so he moved the coin.
Well, I guess you're going to soft kick at the 10 here.
Could he go off the 14 and under the 10?
Could he bank the 14 at the combo?
I think he's going to go behind the 10 with the cue ball off the 14. Uh-oh. You lose.
Across the face of it.
You lose.
That's the end of the match for him.
The 12 goes.
Well, Van Boening needs 9.
I don't care if he needs 13.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of hope.
Well, I know. No, he's
don't give up. Keep the dream alive.
He's got to earn them.
Yeah.
This is just really where your thought process and your decision making is what's going to win you the match.
Well,
if you pick the right pattern.
I think if I was doing this, I would probably. Well, I'm not sure if I
would you want to go to
the 15 right off the bat, or if I try and hit the cluster and have the 15 as protection.
Well, I was thinking maybe play the 10, play the 15, and go up table and try to get the 6-7. And then go to the 12.
Yeah, the thing is, all the balls he needs are in the open, so there's no real reason to.
No reason to go into anything.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly.
Yeah.
But now he kind of might not have a choice, unless he can kind of spin it out of there.
How about right at the 2 ball with the cue ball here?
Well, that would be good. And even if he hits the 7, he still will have a shot at the 7. That was the worst possible result.
Well, I think he knew he'd be able to have the 9, but that's not really.
It's not there now.
Yeah.
There's a scratch off the back of the 8. He has the 8, but that's a very thin cut. He's looking at anyone who will listen.
What do you think he was trying to do there, Brian?
Well, I think he might have been trying your shot.
At the 2?
Just hit the
he hit it too full.
Hit the object ball a hair too full.
Yeah. But see, I thought if he was going to go to the 2, like I thought, he wouldn't needed that speed. Just roll into it, bump it 6 inches, then you got the 12. Then the 7 goes, and you've opened the 2, and the 6 and the 14 are out there.
I agree with you,
but there's no way we're going to sit here and second guess this guy.
Well, yeah, it's hard to figure out exactly what his plan was based on what happened. I think that he must have seen just the whole thing exploding like a firecracker and opening all the balls right up. Now it looks like he's going to make he's looking at making the 9 and the 8 like double kisses the cue ball out of there.
Right. He's got to draw this to avoid the scratch.
Right.
I thought
the
maybe
dead
he
ball's
might.
Gone, so he doesn't have to worry necessarily about selling that out. But
yeah, I thought he might have a look at the 212, but
Deuel can't watch. He's got his hand over his face. He's just like, oh, please make a mistake. Anything. A kick.
He just doesn't want to hear any applause.
Get me out of the chair. That's all he wants. I promise I'll be good next time.
He's shooting the 8 now, Brian.
This is the better choice, I think.
Yeah, go with the 11 with the cue ball. Not the 11, whatever that is out there.
Cut it right in. He brushes the 1, and he's got position. That brings the score. He's +1, so he's playing for 7. And
I think you got to go to the 12 next, don't you?
Well, he doesn't have much choice, I don't think.
That's what he's looking at. Where's the cue ball going to go after I make the 12? It's going to move the 3.
It almost looks
2
like
will keep it there. I'll have the 7.
It almost looks like he's just looking at hitting the 12, which doesn't really make sense to me. But
no,
because I feel like if you land on the 7 with either angle, or sorry, on the 12 with either angle, you have to be okay. You either open everything up by drawing into the 2. I don't know. You're a better straight pool player than I am, but I think that's the way I see it. And if he goes to where he's got the other side angle, he can go to the 9. The 5 passes as well. He can come across and try and hit the 2 or the 11 too. Would open everything up.
I wouldn't go into anything here.
He goes right into the 2.
But as long as he can hit it full
Knocked
like
it
that.
in Deuel's hole.
Yeah.
But he has the 12
Yeah.
or probably the 5. 5 might not pass though. Well, still work to do though. He cleverly put the 8 in Corey's tray so he wouldn't get confused.
Yeah, Corey has
Again,
1
a
now.
Sharp move, yeah.
He's looking at the 5.
The 5 clearly goes.
Do you play for the bank on the 9 next, or do you try to come up between
Well,
the 7 and the 11?
Bank on the 9 would be the conservative play, but I think that he is going to. Well, this is the shot I like the best. Just 1 rail out for the 7.
Yeah.
Is it thinner than it looks? Just play
Not,
with a hair
not really.
like
Just a quarter tip inside to check it. Center of the table. Or 4 rails to that,
sure.
to the 15.
Pound it and end up straight in on the 14.
Yeah. With the angle.
That's excellent.
Yeah, with the angle. We still don't know if the 5 goes. He's just going to soft draw it to the middle of the table and play the 7.
Okay, that's pretty good.
All right. 9 next.
Needs 3 more balls. It's not routine to get them. Just kind of knock this in and then bank the 9. And if he makes the bank, which he probably will, that's it. Because he will have the 5. Or the
11.
Quick double check on the score. There.
Corey's going to concede right here, I think. Well, he was.
Thought he was out. He's going to make him shoot the 11, which is fine.
Well, he needs 2. Corey might not know he owed one.
He's out now.
Yeah. All right.
Great match. Well played by Shane Van Boening. And we will be pretty much straight back here with the finals.
Justin, 15